a look up inside here, and it's quite well decayed, would be a good way to describe it. So what I'm going to do is pull all this section out of the way, and the bits that have been, you know, patched on the front, get this section out of the way, so that we can have a look. This rail is actually rotted out down further. So we've got all this has got to be fixed up before we can put this section on the outside, which is the inner sill. We've got to do all that before we can do that or this. Then we can go ahead and start putting the sill on, and then then we can put the sill on and work it from there. But we've got to do this. So let's pull this apart and have a bit of a squeeze inside.
And that bit, that's when you first got it on the truck that day?
That's right. I knew there was going to be rust in here because there's a piece of checker plate sitting here.
Yes.
But once I uncover this and you get to see inside, you'll see why putting stuff like this on the outside, it might seem strong, but that is not where the strength is. The shape of that does not lend strength to where it's needed. Certain engineering shapes and designs were put in there, put into play or put into these places for a very good reason. Not all engineering designs are good, but some are absolutely necessary.
And putting a plate or something over it like that, it just creates a spot.
Yeah, it's masking the problem.
As well,
the rust is still going to keep going inside, but you see, they call it a torque cavity, tube, box, whatever they call it, but it's to do with torquing and twisting of the car. A flat piece of plate does not support a torque sort of a movement. A box or even though this is almost like a diamond sort of shape section in here, which is, you can see how even the ends of it are rolled and got edges, so that it allows it to, it's not just a piece that's been rolled, it's got caps on the ends and that to stop the movement this way as well. Once I've felt that straight, I know what length and what size and where the bends are. You gotta try and keep it as best you can the way it was. It saves doing a lot more measuring, because this looks bigger at the outside than it is on the inside.
Oh yeah.
I could be wrong. Not usually.
Not usual.
I've been known to be onto it. So yeah, got a little bit of stuff happening in there. Awesome stuff, awesome. Probably have to get rid of that floor to actually get to it as well.
Yeah, right.
Which is great because I didn't want that floor.
Everybody shame. Everybody groove. Everybody shine. Mary, Mary, you're on my mind. The folks are gone and the place will be mine. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it all for you. 'Cause I feel good tonight. And everything's gonna be right, 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 yeah. I'm gonna have a good time tonight. Rock and roll music gonna play all night. Come on, baby, it won't take long. Only take a minute just to sing my song. Everyone is gonna be with him. Tall Sally's gonna be with Slim. Short fat Fanny's she's gonna be there too.
Okay, that is the floor. This is not the floor. So this needs to be made, brought down to join onto this bit here. Easy enough. We can't do it with the floor in the way. So let's have a look at what we got to do in here. All right. See, it's got bits and pieces stuff in here anyway, so we've got to clean this up. I want to do a proper floor in here. As you can see here, it's a bit, how you going? Okay. So as the floor comes down, you can see where these areas at the top of that panel were spot welded onto the floor. The floor curves back around and misses this. It's actually not a very good spot for rust, or it is a very good spot for rust. More to the point. As you can see, all of that in there has to be redone. So at this point, it is literally pointless worrying about the sill until we get this sorted. Get this torque tube sorted in here, the end of the what do you call that thing again? It's not a stick, it's not a rock. Yeah, subframe. So we've got to continue that down. Now under here, if we get underneath and have a bit of a look, we'll come back a bit. I can't do that, you don't like that, that's right. But as you can see, it's actually pretty good. Like if you go down through here, it's pretty good. All this here is not too bad. Then it changes over into these bits here, which are what the gearbox cross member bolts to. And then you got your subframes here. It just changes over into these ones that go all the way along until eventually they disappear into the floor. You can see she's bashed up a bit here, but they're not too hard to sort out. They've just got to be unpicked, belted back out. But then down further, you've got where the springs come in and tie into the back there. It's just all bits and pieces of a Meccano set or a Lego set that gives it strength once it's all together. But this transition from the front rail down here and then stepping sideways into this subframe is interesting. That's why there's got to be extra strength here. So there you go, a little bit of something. Just gives you a bit of a perspective as to the shape of underneath the floor and how they connect And also why when you're doing a floor and you cut through certain areas, probably best to weld them up and not leave them. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth.
Question time. We had our first unofficial question on Facebook just recently, and the gentleman was referring to episode 4, and his point seemed to be, when does the good stuff happen? This is a bit boring. And good stuff, I take he means the panel beating, the meaty stuff, the metal work. And sure enough, that does happen in later episodes. But in answering this, I want to say that this was never tailor-made for people who are professionals in this field. It was always for the person who is a hobbyist. They love classic cars and they want to restore it themselves. This is for those people. And quite often a lot of people don't have very much knowledge on how to go about it. So we want to infuse some get up and go, a little bit of confidence, and we've got your back. These video series basically, we've got your back. If you need questions answered, we'll do that for you. But we really want to do it in a real-time timeline, because people are working, they've got family, they've got all these other commitments. The vehicle getting restored doesn't get full-time work done on it. So it does take a fair while. And the work starts the moment you purchase it. The planning, the dismantle and how you dismantle, what bits you need as you dismantle, because stuff breaks. That's important as well. So definitely there is the meaty bits coming up, but also ideas, planning your project. The biggest thing that we can say to you is that this is for the non-professional, and we don't want you to give up. So many people start a vehicle, they get to a certain point, and then that's it. It gets pushed to the side because they realise it takes years. So we just want to say, with your partner's support, with your friends' support, your family, you can do it, okay? Just don't give up on it, all right? They're worth it, and one day you're going to find that it is worth it when you've finished it, okay? The confidence you'll have will be amazing. So that was the first question. Thank you. Oh yes, one more thing. Restoration is not a quick flick, okay? It's not something. It's not a paint job. Restoration, a full restoration, is everything. So understand the time involved, and don't get disillusioned that you could do it in a few months. That's not going to happen. They're called different things, okay? So hang in there.
Gonna have a good time tonight. Rock and roll music gonna play all night.
Are you recording? It's recording.
It's just waiting for you in case you want to practice and you nail it.